Welcome to SpeakEasy Online. It's September 2022 and we're ready for some more shenanigans. There's a few notices, all being well. We've got a real life in-person SpeakEasy at the Source next Wednesday, 28th of September in Carlisle. And then on the 1st of October, Andy Hopkins tells me that there's a poetry symposium booked in at Telly House. There'll be more details coming on his blog soon, I hope. And there's also some workshops in and around before and after that event. Again, hopefully there'll be more details coming soon, but he's been a bit busy with the start of the school term, so he had to postpone the last one. The first one was supposed to be last weekend and that had to be postponed. And then there's the Borderlines Festival, which is the 4th to the 10th of October. So there's lots going on. And yeah, if anybody else has got anything else going on, please let us know when we're going around. And yeah. Yeah, how do we do this again? Yeah, if you can mute when you're not reading and unmute when you are reading, because it works much better that way. And you can please applause or do the sign language applause or however you feel. That's great. And yeah, it's been a strange couple of months since we last did one of these sessions. A few changes and a few strange things going on. And I'm sure George can tell us some more of his interesting conspiracy theories about what it all means later. But I'll kick off with this one. Yeah, there was such a lot of coverage about the death of the Queen, and I think no matter whether you pro the monarchy or anti-monarchy, there's still a lot of people found themselves quite moved, and a lot of people didn't quite understand why they were feeling sort of so upset. I just think, you know, if someone's been in a job for 70 years, they kind of they have an impact on people, even if it's just a small impact. But yeah. Anyway, I wrote this the day after she passed away, and it's just sort of it goes like this. It's called For the First Time in Forever. For the first time in forever, you're not here. And there's a nation lost at sea, drifting on the waves of grief. You always somehow brought relief in those times of dark tomorrows, eased our hearts and lifted sorrows. To define our country is a conundrum somewhat, but you were one thing that was always constant. It was a role you shouldn't have been. You never asked to be the queen, but you accepted it was your fate, a life of duty and service to the state. In a role more ceremonial, you had only soft power, receiving greetings from well-wishers and endless bouquets of flowers. Serving each day for 7 decades, the best of examples you gave. A lesson taught in leadership, but even your stiff upper lip broadened into a smile every once in a while. And now, for the first time in forever, they're playing only sad songs on the radio. People on the TV have tears in their eyes, and they're speaking with broken voices as we have to say goodbyes. At the end of one's rule, crowds gathered in the rain. And quietly, we all know it'll never be the same. Now we look toward the reign of a king and wonder what that will bring for the first time in forever. There you are. Thank you very much. Yeah. Just popped into my head, so there you are. Thank you very much. Roz, what have you got for us?
Right, what have I got? Right, I managed to write 2 since last Wednesday, unbelievably. If I could find the things. I've forgotten how to do this, you know, it's ridiculous. There we go. Right, I wrote this after I've been sat in the garden last night, I think. It's called Disturbing. Warm enough, perhaps for the last time this year. Just sit in the garden with an early evening drink, peaceful, until a sudden disturbance. I saw the first one coming. He's low. Then I hear it and start looking for the second. There are always two. The noise is deafening. A young calf jumps and prepares to run. A pheasant stands upright and gives its alarm call as the second roars overhead. The calf, calmed by the cows, nonchalance settles. The pheasants continue to call, while the third and a fourth fly overhead, so low you can almost see the pilot's eyes. Are they Ukrainians practicing for war? The noise is terrifying enough without bombs. But the disturbance passes. I feel grateful not to live in a war zone, and calmed by our society's nonchalance, I relax. Whoops. No, what's that? That probably needs a bit more work, but there you go. And what else was I going to say? Oh yeah, the Andy Hopkins thing. I did pass the dates to Flick, but I didn't send out an email because I didn't really know what I was talking about, other than they might be able to do something soon. So I thought I'll wait for it to come up.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen anything else yet. But if
well,
I do, I might send an email.
Sure. Keep an eye on his blog, and I'll email him again and see if I can get some more info out of him. He's
Yeah,
he is the busiest person in the
book
world.
it. Yeah, okay.
Cool. Thank you, Ros. No, that's a really powerful piece, that, actually, particularly in light of some of the news from the last 24 hours. It's just crazy. Val, what have you got for us?
Well, it's actually a year since we started meeting up again at the Kirkgate, and because this is kind of the first Zoom again, I thought I'd read this because it's called Meeting Up Again, and it's kind of relevant. So the lockdown finally ends. We're back here meeting up with friends. I've had my fill of isolation. Now I need some inspiration. Fellow poets, it's been a while, so make me laugh, make me smile, make me angry, make me care with the words you've come to share. Tell me stories of your life, your hopes and dreams, your joys and strife. Or just talk about your cat, then we'll have a drink and chat. And that's that.
That's lovely. Yeah, you summed that up brilliantly. You know, it's all those funny little things we missed during the lockdowns, and yeah, meeting up again is great. It's lovely to do this as well. I thank you all for joining in tonight. But yeah,
Yeah, I'm sorry I can't see you.
yeah,
I can see you, but you can't see me.
Thank you, Val. That was really, great. Thank you so much. George, what you got for us?
Thanks, Phil. Well, I think I might be blaming Jeanette for this, but I'm trying to remember. I think she posted up Simon Armitage's poem for the Queen. So I couldn't resist. So this is a double acrostic with two verses. This is A Thought on Mortality, 13th September 2022, from scenes following the death of Queen Elizabeth II of England and Elizabeth I of Scotland. Every life has its space. Length is no measure of the toil. It is the giving, not the I. Zealous wills, such granite quartz, are found and kept. The omega beyond the final word, the nub each seeker grabs, and there turns it in their tightened fist, holds it proud and high. Each life so precious, time lingers on the lips, so all is hope, and like Stromboli, Zap splats the sea, a blitz, a zing, where steam and lava boil and toss, combine, superb, enliven, renew, alive. This is how the heart, how love conquers death.
Wow. Why are you not the poet laureate, George?
Because I'm not Simon Armitage.
Too many
That's
conspiracy
because
theories,
you're
man.
better than Simon Armitage. His was so boring.
Well, I suppose in a way, though, I didn't make it about Elizabeth. I made it about death and what I thought about what we value in people. And, you know, so anyway, enough of that. I just enjoyed doing it. I like these things. So that was a double across.
Yeah, that was really lovely, actually. Yeah. Thank you very much, George. Yeah, you've earned yourself a glass of wine for that one.
It's
All right.
For some. It's all right for some.
Isn't it? Jean, hello.
Hiya. I like that double acrostic. I always like listening for the words so I can spell it out. And if anybody gets Private Eye, E.J. Thrib has done a wonderful parody on Simon Armitage's rather boring poem. There we are. Okay, this hasn't got a title, but I was in a car park in the Trossachs in April, in a camper van, feeling a bit like I'm getting a bit even too old for camper vans. I need a nice comfy bed. Stiff and difficult are my bones. The cough, the speaking in crackling tones, the thinning hair and rice pudding skin, the dearth of taste in anything, the death of hopes, the flight of dreams. This is the way of age, it seems. But fears are lost, and anxious youth, and gained is the urge to speak my truth, to wring the juice from every chance, to slow a dance, but still to dance.
Brilliant. Still to dance. That's brilliant. Yeah, of course. I love that. That's great. Thank you very much. Hello, Jane. What have you got to share with us?
Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, we can.
Okay. I'll read a actually not very seasonal poem. Icot Hill in May. Icot Hill is a very local, rewilded part of the Lake District. Very important geologically, but they're actually doing a great deal there to bring it back to the way it used to be. And it's in the shadow of Blencathra. It's a really interesting area. Anyway, this is how it was in May. I need my glasses. There we go. Gates ungated, we are let through, intruders on intrusions. We gather on the Gabbro, we gather in hawthorn ash, as sense sounds and illusions chase down our senses, while in the distance, doing words, are verbs of birds I must look up. Tractor tracks are scratched on fields, twin fossils of an ancient fern scribbled as if from the bony tip of a feather stem. A child's neat drawing of a farm is coloured in, and on a folded brow. Somehow a glance can conjure now the sudden origami of a pop-up book, and yet look, though swept as all is swept, home is the only unbent, unyielding noun here. Lilac layers of distant fells are sliced by wings whose silhouette I used to know. A dot dash of snow encodes the saddleback, mottled blonde and black, as its leather blooms with spring, wisps of everything, pale overlying grasses from last year plaid the way, the path a scar, an uncombed parting. I see birds I knew but can't make out. On the wind I hear my mother's blunted shout down the long shires of childhood. I feel the whisper pull of a daisy chain. I smell the sea rope hauled inland, the oil and grass of her thick, uncoiling plait as it snakes forward off her back. And once again, she shakes out a blanket in the rain. I hear birds I can't identify, and all our plans are crossed by sky. I'm trying to describe something close to and small, a child's stash of beaks and bird skulls in a box, or the bare clutch of rib on a crow-cleaned fox. This unmade poem's match flaring somewhere in the night, that flume of light, this lisp of grass, a rip of skin, a shower so quick it's gone before you notice, dark flakes of dissolving silver, a sleet of mica in the rock. We metamorphise, unspool, restock. The giant of me is stepping out. The morsels of me are left for birds whose names I can't recall. We all keep our heads down, destroying and disseminating worlds with our feet and hands. The glass turns round, I'm running through, relieved to hear a question that I have an answer to. What rock are you? I'm sand.
Beautiful. Really lovely. Thank you very much for sharing it. Yeah. Good to hear you reading with us again. Yeah, fantastic. All right. Janetto, what have you got for us?
I have somewhere on here a poem that I've tried to put together following Monday's events, and it's called Big Ben Tolled 96 Times, Queen Elizabeth II State Funeral, 19th of September 2022. More than a nation gathered to observe from moments of silence that mournful march, steady footsteps into September sunlight, the limelight of loss, of duty and faith, honour and dignity. She unified all, pipes and drums. Through monuments, memorials, landmarks and a gentle drape of lowering standards, we lament her royal standard, and a crown on a casket was a throat-swelling stone. But with Rosemary's remembrance and myrtle-budded marriage, her undisputed love blooms fast in English oak, while scattered roses gather to farewell our country's heart. And as our country changes, Her Majesty leaves a note in reunited double rainbows to the Commonwealth, for our Commonwealth.
Wow. You managed to encapsulate loads of the iconography of Monday's event with, you know, the wreath of flowers from the various palaces and the significance of the oak and the myrtle and everything with the long marriage and things. Yeah, wow. Phenomenal. Yeah, really good. That's lovely. Wow. Okay, we've done a circuit, so that's really good. We've got 7 minutes left, so we'll go around again, but before I have to push the magic button and we'll sign back in. So I was thinking back to February and the start of Putin's war in Ukraine today, with in light of what I was hearing on the news, and I just went back to the first piece I wrote about that right at the end of February. So this is Shooting Tsars. All it takes for evil to triumph is for good people to do nothing. Surely in the 21st century we are more enlightened creatures who expect our elected leaders to be of good character and uphold the rules of the land, not to violate our laws, international or otherwise, not to lie and use all manner of tactics to protect themselves from scrutiny, not to wriggle and squirm their way out of owning up to wrongdoing on a technicality. Whatever happened to we're all in this together? Public servants should do just that. Serve the public, not take us for fools and tell untruths to our faces and congratulate themselves for getting away with it. We don't want emperors. We don't want tyrants. We don't want overlords. And we don't want leaders with a God complex. History shows dictators don't meet with a happy end. We're not here forever. Life is over in the blink of an eye. Surely we should try and leave this place in a better state than we found it, rather than run a mad race to acquire as much stuff as we can and declare ourselves the winner of a game which we ourselves devised. History is a construct, so too our place within it. Atoms do not care about borders, another artificial boundary. Life is a mighty beautiful thing, and we are lucky to have followed in a long, long line since creation's first spark. But surely we are better beings than this. We should put aside our differences, see that all are provided for, learn from each other, and embrace our differences, not allow them to divide us. We are made of matter from the stars. We do not need another war. We do not support another Tsar. There's so much potential in who we are. It would be a shame to lose all this and reach our final hour as life's light goes out, a starry future bright, prematurely going dark. Thank you very much. Oh, it's just the futility of conflict is it's just frustrating, isn't it? Yeah. Hopefully things will take a step back from where we are, but we'll see. Sorry, Roz, I've made that quite difficult for you to follow. What have you got?
Well, I already had the next one, so it doesn't go with that at all. Never mind. This was just after I had a walk the other day, and it got me thinking about. It's a theory I read about plants controlling us and us not us controlling what the plants do. But anyway, this is called the apple tree. The apple tree has a cunning plan. He'll make himself attractive to man. By ensuring his apples are rosy and sweet, he'll make men desire them to eat. In this way, he recruits Johnny Appleseed, who willingly panders to his every need. And it came to pass that by his hand, apples were spread throughout the land, and the successful colonization of the USA meant the crafty apple tree got his way. Whoops. Keep hitting the wrong buttons. I've lost how to use the running computer. Sorry.
That was great. That was wonderful. Thank you.
The sillier I get, the more people like it, really.
Yeah, yeah. That's your niche. You've got a niche there, Roz. It's great. No, yeah, you're right about that. I think, yeah, plants, maybe they're a lot smarter than we give them credit for. I think most of wildlife is, actually. Yeah.
I think most of them are probably smarter than me at any rate. I wouldn't know if it's general.
Val, have you got something for us?
I'm going to read this one again about the cost of living. It seems it's quite topical. cost of living is well on the rise, and cuts to services is no surprise. Things you took for granted have gone, and as for kids, you can't afford one. Our energy costs are getting higher. People are scared to switch on the fire. Huddled in blankets trying to keep warm. Must we accept that this is the norm? We're walking to places we used to drive, buying cheap little food to keep us alive. A holiday abroad is a thing of the past, as we worry how long our money will last. The rich get richer, the others get poor. People will soon vote for change, I'm sure. Does our standard of living really have to fall? Vote for someone who will look after us all.
Well
that.
said. Very good. I think we're about to sign out, so I'll push the button and sign back in, and we'll pick up again with George. See you in a second. Okay, over to you, George.
Thanks, Phil. As I say, I didn't watch an awful lot of the commemorations that were going on, but one bit that I did pick up was when the grandchildren came to stand in vigil round the coffin in Westminster Hall. But the thing that I found most striking, apart from the fact that the chap Phillips couldn't walk in time with the people in front of him, the 14-year boy in front of him could keep in step, but he couldn't. I thought that seems a bit bad. But anyway, what did strike me was that none of the women had any medals or decorations on their black outfits, and all of the men had medals. And the one in particular that struck me was Viscount Severn, who had 2 medals. So I looked up what they were, and they were the Diamond Jubilee and the Platinum Jubilee medals. Now, they were given to him by the Queen, and I quite accept that she's entitled to give any medals that she likes. I just thought, I'm not so sure that I would feel that he was entitled to wear them. Although he'd been given them, I thought it was disrespectful, because both medals were given for long service to the community. I think the platinum one was you had to have served for at least 5 years in the forces or done other service and charity work, etc. And the one before that, the Diamond Jubilee one, was similar about service in the forces or work with the communities, etc. So I thought, at the Diamond Jubilee one, he was 2. So, he'd hardly done 5 years in the forces. But anyway, so I wrote this. I seem to have misfiled my medals. My invitation has gone astray. I cannot stand, bowed head. My silence is unwanted, though newspapers tell me of my grief. On BBC, an endless stream of mindless tears and grateful nods. The prattle of the royal court, as if surprised a crowned head spoke, or ate, or loved, or sinned, or like the ordinary, died. I see the equality of honours does not extend to female grandchildren. No shiny discs adorn the girls. This new era comes with ancient rights. In today's mirror, my mother's gaze, my father's smile looks back. I have no medals in a drawer, pinned to my chest the years they gave. Aged 4, I had the coronation coach they bought for me, and which I broke. Thank you.
Thank you very much, George. I was going to say hello to Jeff. Are you there, Jeff?
I am. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yeah. Hello. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, good. You missed the start. We are recording the sessions so that we can put them on YouTube for people who weren't here. So I just thought I'd let you know that. Would you like to read anything later on, or are you happy to listen?
Well, I mean, I could share something, assuming I can make the technology work.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe you can slot in after Jeanette. So that's in about
Yeah, sure.
3 readers' time. Is that okay?
Okay, that's fine.
That's fantastic. Good to hear you, even though we can't see you. But there'll be a button somewhere. But yeah.
There will be a button somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, man. All right. Where are we up to? Jean, do you have another piece for us?
I do. I've also got a plug. Can I do a plug for a couple of events?
Yes, please do.
Events coming up in October. There's a quiz and a pie and peas supper at St Aidan's Church Hall on Friday the 21st of October, 7 o'clock. And if you want a ticket or tickets, they're £7 each, and just email me or message me. And the other one, if you like to sing, or you think you might like to sing, Sacred Harp, which is an American traditional form of singing hymns, really, but you don't have to be religious to sing them. Then there's a workshop in St Aidan's Church Hall on the 29th, Saturday the 29th of October, 1 o'clock till 3:30, and tea and cake will be provided, and it's free. But we'll ask for donations towards the teacher's expenses because he's driving over from Newcastle. Well, that's my plugs. So nothing to do with poetry really, but there we go. Cultural. Pie and peas supper is always very cultural. Right, this is another one that I wrote when I was on holiday in April. So it was a wee small hours of the morning. I was cold, so I reached for a quilt that my mother-in-law made for me, and I thought, oh, I'd forgotten how nice this piece of cloth is. So I wrote this about it. Domestic and unprofound hexagons of cloth she cuts, a beehive of golds and browns. She tenderly sews and puts together this one, that one, by hand. The piecing takes a month or more. Her shoulders ache from brooding over pecking needles, pulling threads that vanish inside daisy heads. Flowers tessellate until all she has spoken is a coverlet of warmth and quilted love in a mother's token.
Oh, that's great. I love that. Thank you very much, Jean. That's great. Okay. From Jean to Jane.
You can hear me?
We can.
I'm going to read a couple of things. I haven't written anything for a very long time. And a friend of mine's coming to visit me who I've known for about 50 years. And we were talking on Zoom, actually, about the past and their grammar school and the school that I went to and how they generally let us down, I suppose. But we got to talking about the 11 plus, which I think all of us would probably well remember. And I'm going to read you the little piece that she sent me about their experience of 11 plus, and then I'll read my response to that. Equally short. Okay. Mr. Wilkins called me into his office. "Here's a shilling," my headmaster said, smiling. He looked through the window behind his desk and pointed at the bus stop on the other opposite side of the road. "I want you to catch a bus to your Nan's. Use that shilling to buy your ticket." Mr. Wilkins wanted Nan to know straight away. Until she retired, she'd been one of the 2 dinner ladies at my primary school. She was replaced by my Auntie Roma. It was a 10-minute ride to Catcham's End. I ran from the bus to Nan's and Grandad's. Mr. Wilkins said to come and tell you that I've passed the 11 plus. Nan hugged me so hard. Ada, Flossie and Girlie, the 3 spinster sisters at the end of our terrace, were thrilled. They gave me tea and a chocolate biscuit. It was a record year for the school, 4 passes. 4 of us would be going to the grammar school. Dave Jenner, Tars Owen, Pete Schmidt and me. No girls, of course. Girls never pass the 11 plus at Ribbenhall County Primary School. At least that's what they thought. That's by Martha Woodward. And it made me think about how different my experience was. So I wrote a poem back. And this is called Lit. To explain it, I had to come out of hospital and return to hospital at the time of the 11 plus, which you shouldn't do to children, but anyway. And it didn't take place in my school. It took place in a Catholic church next door to the, I went to a convent, and it was a Catholic church next door to the school. Lit. The wheelchair didn't fit. Beneath the formica top tables set up in serried rows in St Ambrose, they had to bring in the heads table, and thus I sat at intervals, my 11 plus, and afterwards was carried to a waiting car, my legs useless from recent sepsis, dangling pale and purpuric like used stems. 3 of us won this prize. No one said much. I don't remember who the others were. I do recall our brightest lights, pride of their stranded families, Shivek and Shimshak, deemed failed before they flew. They dimmed during the years before 15. Then fluorescent shop lights of a convenience store lit their partings at the tills. Very different experience.
Wow, yeah.
I was pleased because I'd written something.
Yeah, no, wow. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. It's really powerful. Do they still do the 11 plus at some schools? Is that?
I don't think so.
No.
No, I don't. A lot depended on it, which was why it was important for me. I'm a lot older than my youngest sister, and they couldn't afford to send us both. So I had to go to grammar school. So a lot depended on me passing my 11 plus. As it happened, I didn't go to the grammar school, but but I did pass my 11 plus. How? I don't know. Probably because I was so out of it, I wasn't worried. So that's probably how I did it. But no one said much.
Wow, yeah. Thank you very much for sharing. Okay, Jeanette, what have you got for us?
Before I read this one, I was to say to George, well done on all your publications in visual verse. Yeah, got quite a good record there now. Yeah, that's excellent, and excellent poems. I've had a read of them all. This is one of mine that was published. It's called Pausing with Butterflies, and it was a picture of a lady's face with butterflies all over it. Looking up childhood eyes amongst a flutter of butterflies, I recall the bright blue skies when clouds were only cotton white. Soaring high upon a swing, I'd overtake my shadow with caterpillar toes, free from the grip of societal shoes, wiggling towards the light. Barefoot in the gentle grass, hands resting soft on muddied knees, I'd stop to watch the chrysalis, marvel at metamorphosis. I'd flit far from flower to flower, resting gently to take in colour, savour nectar. I try to create and replicate wings of wonderful beauty. But symmetry got torn and bent, folding paper over paint. Ragged wings begin to fade when captured. But sometimes I find my butterfly mind with buttercup hope glowing under my chin, and I promise I'll make time for time. Make time for a time when flight and flutter were mine, tender in the moment.
That's really
Thank
lovely.
you.
Could you repeat the last two lines? There was a little bit of a crackle on the line here.
Yeah. Yeah, make time for a time when flight and flutter were mine, tender in the moment.
Wow.
And I'm trying to follow Mark's example and actually write things in a notebook. And there was a few stumbles there because I couldn't read my own writing, so I might have to go back to the iPad after all.
No, you're a real poet. If you can't read your own writing, then you qualify. Thank you. That's lovely.
Thank you.
Okay. Jeff, are you there? Would you like to read something for us?
Yeah, can you actually hear me?
We can hear you. We can see you. We think you're
I
in
don't know why you
San
can't see
Francisco.
me, but I am just using my phone actually. So, yeah, I wrote this the other day and I wasn't sure. I usually put my stuff on Facebook, but I decided not to put this on Facebook. And what you need to know is that the word Balmoral has at least two meanings. One is, according to Google, one is it's a kind of round hat, like a beret, I suppose. And the other is that it's laced up boots. So this is called listening to the changing of the guard. Can you hear the silent sibilance of scepters passing from one's head to another's? Can you hear the soft shoe shuffling of billionaires tiptoeing through tulip fields? Can you hear the easy lifting of bankers' bonus caps as the coffin passes by? Can you hear the rutting of the Glen's monarch proudly passing through baronial halls? Can you hear the doffing of Balmorals, the silent marms as one's boots are lifted with one's laces? Can you hear silent Shakespearean woods passing from Burnham through to Dunsinane? The silent histories of monarchy, the denial of democracy enthroned in people's hearts. Were you listening when they said, the queen we loved has gone, long live the king in her stead? Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. That's very powerful. Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of there was interesting things running in parallel to a lot of the services and things that were going on, wasn't there? With like questionable political things going on alongside it. Yeah.
Well, yeah. You had to wonder during all the coverage of the funeral just what Kwarteng and Truss and that lot are getting up to, really. And we're beginning to see some of it now. But I thought the bankers' bonuses was the most shocking thing, really. But there you go.
Yeah. Goodness. But yeah. Well, thank you very much, Jeff. And we'll maybe hear again from you. We'll maybe go round it one more time, I think. Is that okay? Yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Fantastic. Okay. I've got another one. Just a random one that popped into my head, really, from when last time I was walking around town. It's called Waiting for a Signal. And it goes like this. And I'm awaiting a rhyme to balance out the weight of the line. Almost endless choices from the whispering voices. We find we're waiting in line, biding our time. Look around and see what you can. Scribbled notes on the side of a van. Obscenities written in dirt. Greasy teens trying to flirt. Standing in a queue, really want to meet you. acts like she doesn't care, says, come back when you've grown a pair. What could she really mean? Red light changes from green. Shut up, don't talk. Herd gathers, ready to walk, and I'm awaiting a rhyme to balance out the weight of the line. There you are. Don't know what it means, but there you go. Thank you very much. Okay, Ros, do you have another one for us?
Well, only from last Wednesday. When I can find them. Oh my goodness me, I've lost them. This is ridiculous. I can't make my screen shrink so I can get to the ones behind. There's usually a little square thing, isn't there, up the top? Exit full screen, that might do. Eventually I'll get there. This is the one I did last Wednesday, them's the breaks. I think you'll have to have that one. Them's the breaks, but life is tough when the parliamentarians have had enough. Despite his misdeeds being vehemently denied, every single one of them knew that he lied. Once the voters started to view him with disdain, his position became impossible to sustain. And when his own MPs started telling him so, he finally got the message that he had to go. Still, he managed to wrangle a 6-week delay, but you can never quite trust what he has to say. And even the Queen kept hanging on just to make sure Boris had really gone before she finally succumbed to that terrible cuss of the handshake with Elizabeth Truss. It seems all that she touches withers away. So the Conservative government's had its day.
That's brilliant, Ros.
Sorry. I've lost all your faces.
Well, yeah, no, that was great. A little gem, that is. A little gem.
All I've got is a little head in the corner. Oh, there it is. I haven't got my glasses on. I'm very sorry. I can't read or see what I'm doing.
That's okay. Thank you very much, Ros. And we'll see if Val's got another one for us.
Well, I'll also read one from last Wednesday. This is the one that didn't make it to the Borderlines competition.
Right.
Dean was listening. So this is called Nobody's Listening. Listen to me talking. I'll tell you what I think. Listen to me shouting. I'll soon kick up a stink. Listen to me argue. I always know what's right. Listen to me ranting. I'm up for any fight. Listen to me yelling. I always win this game. Listen to me screaming. I'll find someone to blame. Listen, listen, listen. You should listen to me. But the shouters never listen, and that's the irony.
Wise words. Well, you won a prize from us, Val, don't you? Thank you very much. Okay, George, we're with you again. Have you got another conspiracy theory for us?
No, not a conspiracy theory. I'm going to put in a plug though, just in case. If anyone's ever interested, I've brought out self-published a children's book called The Glass Cat. I'm afraid these are all with Amazon, but it's one way you can do it. And I brought out two of my Syme stories. After having waited for 3 years, the publisher came back and said, "Oh, we've decided we're not doing novellas anymore." So I just decided to publish them myself. So there's 2 Syme stories. So if anyone happened to be interested, get in touch with me. £5 plus postage will get any of them. All you need to do is send me your email, your address. I'll send you the copies and a wee note of how to make the payment. But anyway, I'm sure no one's interested, but you can't resist making a plug. This next one, the poem, which I will now read. Sorry about that. The serious bit. Is I've got something into an anthology which I believe will be called Duff, which is about pregnancy. And I was fortunate enough to be asked if I might submit. You weren't guaranteed to be in, but you could submit because they wanted the input from a few men as to the subject of pregnancy, etc. And this is, well, hopefully it's self-explanatory. I'll never forget this. It happened when I would be about 11. If I could paint. Curtains shut to lock in the grey room torn by weeping. My aunt's arms crossed on the mantelpiece, her head rocking on those arms with the violence of her grief. I am 10 and arrive home to find comfort has flown, a greeting as dead as the fire, air hanging dull as the hearth, so different from the usual warmth. Mumbled voices and an arm leads me out to the stairs to isolation, where my uncle explains the baby has been taken away, adoption terminated by a mother unable to let her daughter go. Nothing I can say or do, no family words can stitch a heart. This is an ending as final as a funeral, without the service or the coffin, but with that shroud of grey, the weeping.
Wow, George, that was extremely powerful. Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know if it still happens. I found it incredible that they could give a baby, a very, I can't remember how young, but a very young baby, to a mother for adoption, which she had for about, I think it was about 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks. And then they decided that the adoption was not going ahead, so it was taken away because I mean, I can understand the mother not wanting to give up the child, can understand all of the circumstances, but I still think there is an awful harshness about some of that. I don't know how it happens now, but I'm talking about 1959, thereabouts.
Mm.
Wow. Well, keep us updated about the anthology as well, will you? Yeah, when yeah, that's cool. Thank you. Jean, do you have another one to share with us?
I do, yes.
Fantastic.
This is called Laronde, which is a type of dance. Today I saw a yellow helicopter for lifting people safely from the sea and setting them on dry land, relieved, unaltered. I wish they'd call a chopper out for me. Since you've pursued me, I've been drowning slowly, scrambling my rusty senses one by one. You're like a pleasant heart attack or seizure, angina, only with a sense of fun. I'm too old for pointless teenage longing and married, but that hasn't put you off. I wish there was a lozenge I could suck on to suppress you, like some irritating cough. I know you had a hard time with your first wife, who left you for a plumber in Dundee. But bitterness is always unattractive. It's mad to trust a randy divorcee. You want her back, so flirt in desperation. With someone older, fatter than her too. What makes you think I'd turn my back on my life when my sister wisely turned her back on you?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, there's very powerful little storytelling going on here. Yeah, thank you very much. Jane, we're with you again.
as I said, I've not written anything much for ages, so I'm going to read something from this wonderful book called Stranger Baby by Emily Berry. It's essentially about her grief at the loss of her mother. But I'm just going to read you a poem, Canopy, that's from this. The weather was inside. The branches trembled over the glass as if to apologize. Then they thumped and they came in. And the trees shook everything off until they were bare and clean. They held onto the ground with their long feet and leant into the gale and back again. This was their way with the wind. They flung us down and flailed above us with their visions and their pale tree light. I think they were telling us to survive. That's what a leaf feels like anyway. We lay under their great awry display and they tattooed us with light. They got inside us and made us speak. I said my first word in their language, canopy. I was crying and it felt like I was feeding. Be my mother, I said to the trees, in the language of trees, which can't be transcribed. And they shook their hair back and they bent low with their many arms and they looked into my eyes as only trees can look into the eyes of a person. They touched me with the rain on their fingers till I was all droplets, till I was a mist. And they said they would. I love that.
That's great. That's fantastic.
Fantastic. That's a poem. Given to me by Kelly, actually.
Oh, yeah,
She's,
Kelly Davis.
She said, I didn't get this. I think you might. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Cool. Thank you for sharing that. It was really lovely.
Mm.
Okay. And Janetto.
This next one's called Coming of Age. Ragdoll, homemade, handmade, a book of nursery rhymes, dog-eared and faded, building blocks, paint chipped, one bear, well loved, tin cars, bent jigsaws, a train set, tissue papered in the toy box, lid closed. What's that?
Wow. That's really powerful, that last line.
I've just been having a sort out on the loft, actually. You can't throw anything though, can you? It's hard.
And it's a strange thing about possessions, isn't it? Because you sort of you have a memory attached to where you got it from, and it sort of leads to all sorts of other things. It's really unusual. Strange how memory works like that.
Mm.
Yeah, there's a doll of mine. He was like a boy doll, which was unusual, I suppose. But I cut his hair, and I got a real telling off my mum. In fact, I think it was the first punk in Wigton, but I was convinced it would grow.
That's brilliant. Okay, Jeff, would you like to share another with us?
Yeah, thank you. This goes back a long way. It was actually published some years ago. It's called The Poem Must Be Spoken. Each day we plan careful progress. Some days are faster, most are less. But now flowers grow where once there were none. A signature has replaced a none. In our garden, we plant radish beds. The leaves come first, and then the heads. Each day we attend the newly planted garden, but after rain and sun, the ground begins to harden. But still the miracle is renewed, a delicate tracery of roots and stalks forced through. The ground is hard, and must be broken, as the poem, to be heard, must first be spoken.
Oh, that's great.
you.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Thank you. Yeah, I think, yeah, words, poems need to be spoken. Yeah. Yeah, it's well, it's 9:15. I think I did say this was going to be the last round, but is that okay? We're not all bursting to. We can save things for another time. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've got. I give yourselves a round of applause, everyone who read and everyone who listened. Which is all of you. So well done. It's been really great. And,
Thank you, Phil.
Yeah,
Thanks, Phil.
you're very welcome.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Thank you. Take care.
Yeah.
Thank
Get
you.
well soon.
Yes. Thank you very
Yes,
much.
get well soon.
Yeah, keep well.
I-
Get well, sorry.
I'll keep
Yep.
well. I'll try to get well. As I say, keep an eye out for those other events that are happening. As I say, there's this in-person speakeasy, all being well, next Wednesday at the Source in Carlisle at Denton Home. And then, as I say, the Poetry Symposium should be at Telly House on the 1st of October. And then Borderlands is after that. So maybe bump into you at some of those events. And yeah, I've just got a quick one I can read here just to round things out. It's called Anything You Want to Be, and it goes something like this. Courage is a thing in short supply. It takes belief and strength to really make you fly. You can be a rainbow and you can be a star. Be anything you want to be just who you are. I've seen blood spilled, shed tears and the toil, bitter words spoken and insults swallowed, endless strangers dying, fighting over foreign soil. The absence of the world rings so aloud. Sometimes people are quick to hate what they don't understand, despite all the talk of tolerance and teaching to love your fellow man. Why do we live in bubbles, castles with the drawbridge raised? I don't want to live in no world that rings hollow. And put your little hand in mine, 'cause we can walk forever, but there ain't ever been no one, not now, never. They say 1 and 1 is 2, but it just don't add up to you. Escape from sadness, you don't want to wallow. We are who we are, and who we're not, and who we want to be tomorrow. We touch the lives of others through our joy and our sorrow, and you can wear somebody else's face again tomorrow. Courage is a thing in short supply. It takes belief and strength to really make you fly. You can be a rainbow and you can be a star. Be anything you want to be just who you are. There you are.
Very. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
Thank you.
Hopefully see you again soon, and take care. Get home safe, and see you soon. Cheers.
Hey, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for coming. It's been great to see everybody.
Thank you very much. See you soon.
Bye.